Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tipsy Tuesdays. I am your host, Nick V, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the best wine, alcohol, and dancing program. Well, special wine episode for today. I know I don't typically number them because they're not really that important, but for this one being the fifth upload, I wanted to theme it around both a message that's spread by the name of this company and the CEO that runs it. And I wanted to focus around that with this week's episode, hashtag not sponsored, but about problems that are happening in the dance community. And probably the biggest one that I haven't really gotten to because I'm trying to be a little more thoughtful in the wording of it because I want as many people to listen as possible. And that's the problem with um, the lack of safety in some of the movements that are done in the community. And again, having empathy and thoughtfulness, mindfulness, here present. I I don't want to attack people into thinking that they're doing this with any intention of being bad or trying to be show offy too much. I just I do believe there's a lot of people who go out and dance and perform movements that they may not be able to lead properly, or maybe unknowingly make maybe more prone to accidents and just they just don't know it. I've personally been reached out to before, um, thinking that I had performed certain moves properly and finding out later in the fact that I had injured someone. And that's something sometimes we don't, especially as those leaders who tend to guide more in our dancing. And that's another that's like a big thing of this. A lot of times it feels like a lot of us are like our leads are kind of forcing the movements to happen and causing some of the injuries. I mean, and then to like obviously to some degree, there's also some ladies who are back leading or some follows that are back leading into movements and causing some injuries for the guys. But predominantly, neither one is okay. And again, I'm not trying to attack anybody in the dance community and in no particular section because it happens in every dance form in our community. Um, but I think not enough of us are asking when we do certain movements that's potentially causing somebody an injury. And again, it's never intentional. And again, we shouldn't be blaming some of these people. If anything, we just need to bring more awareness to certain movements or certain things that cause injuries in our community, because it stinks to like hear from one of your friends that they have to take a break because their back is hurting, their neck is hurting, their shoulders hurting because of a certain movement, a certain even partner that they're dancing with that unfortunately is not being as careful around them. And again, it's just potentially we just don't have enough knowledge of either the the movements or even sometimes the people who aren't being as mindful about the way they're dancing and communicating on the dance floor. And so I just wanted to focus this episode or this tip on really focusing on having a little bit of empathy for some of these dancers, but also to creating more awareness on people. We need to be asking more about how can we be safer in our community so that way there's less injuries. And so I would advise if any of you have your stories, you can reach out and post here in the comments or even message me directly if it's something a little more personal about some of these moments that have caused injuries and what we can do to potentially, speak out and fight against it and hopefully create a safer community so we can go out and dance as much as we would like. So yeah, I wanted to focus that on this episode today, and I hope you're appreciating this. Again, I'm trying to be as mindful as I can with these lessons and these tips. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this one, and hopefully we'll see you for the next one. And gotta have a nice, great sip with a sniffy sniff, and to give it a whirl. Hmm.